I got something to say. This has been on my mind since I became a mature adult, okay? If you don't know, I don't mind saying it. I will be 37 this year, and with being 37, I've come to understand a lot of things. That if I had a known with awareness when I was born in the 70s, that by this age I could be running for the presidency, I'm more than certain I would have gathered myself a little better over the years back in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? But because my country was where it's at when I was born, I was a part of subjectivity and heredity. And I followed a course by which lineage goes. I broke boundaries to tear myself from generations of oppressed black people and oppressed cultures. I've traveled like a nomad to rid myself of ignorance in societies or communities that are combated with ignorance where I can't be a light. It's not my problem at the end of the day to change the ways of the majority. I don't wear that weight. That weight is so big that it's not important. It's like, you know, if somebody said, I want to go do the K2 or whatever, whatnot. For someone that might be important to go all the way up that mountain through all those tumultuous conditions and all that hardship and achieve that goal because that's their struggle to find out in life how life can be and how brutal. But I don't need a mountain to do that when I've lived the last 37 years. That's what I've got to say on that note. So with those T's said, I'm saying that it is disappointing to me, and don't take me wrong, my Caucasian brothers out there. But if you're a white man and you're 35 and you are not running for the president, you are almost a failure to your country. And that's just the truth. You know, I'm impressed that this country has a black president in my lifetime. But again, I know that some things aren't really what they seem to be. High def, high def, high def, you know. Anyway, not digressing. It's on that matter that I consider that if I had a known again, if I was geared for that, if society and the culture had allowed even my mother's generation to develop on a platform by which breeding and raising children and rearing them to this level of achievement was there, period. Because I remember in the third grade when my mother read my school paper and my teacher had asked what I wanted to be. And I wrote down I wanted to be the president. And my mother did tell me, like a good mother said or should, you could be the president's son. But when I woke up every day and I grew up from the age 3 all the way up until, maybe 10 years ago, oh no, this damn country wasn't going to let me be no president. And I wasn't ready to be no martyr. I didn't feel like being a martyr if it was the case. And at the same time, I've got other battles to deal with outside of wanting to be the president. Now, maybe 200 and 1,000 years from now or something, you might have a gay black president. I don't even see that happening in this country in my lifetime. So I understand that it's just not my time. It wouldn't have been my time because of who I am as an individual. But for those other individuals that feel into that slot where they could have gotten there and made quite a difference, especially like I said, my Caucasian brothers, what have you done for your country when you are just living and exploiting all in your millions and your dollars and your wealth and hiding in your nice houses? And now you mad at the president who's black and he's digging in your pockets and getting your coins. Then you should have been doing something. He should have never been there. He should have never been there digging in your pockets if it was really a bother, because you should have been up off your little white hiney and you should have been riding into that area. So when I think about when the president candidates come up, I don't know why it ain't like some big old sport and there's like 1,000 candidates rolling the wall. That really tells me something about my country and about the population of people by which are merited to be able to be in that slot. So half of you that's got an opinion don't really matter because you're not up in there. And you want to give me all this about me. Boo, give me my space. Just give me my space. I will learn how to take an ant out the air, an ant or an ant out the air, put it in the ground and pray on it and have it grow to a meal before I believe that you're going to continue to feed me. Because at the end of the day, you're not doing anything for yourself. How could you be doing something for me? That's where I'm at. You're not doing something for yourself. How are you doing something for me? It really hurts my heart. And I really want to reach out to the women in this country. I'm very proud of the women in this country because you know what? I have a high admiration when I think about anybody in the culture, limelight, mainstream, and that's Oprah Winfrey. And that woman hold the truth so much to me. It might be an enigma. It might be something I don't even need to know about. But what I do know about, I love. And I'm into because her inspiration to give back to the world as a person has inspired me to give you this as a person. To say there is a voice. There's a voice in you. There's a voice in me. There's a voice in her. There's a voice in everybody. And if you ain't using your voice, then stop using your voice when you think it's important. Because you got to use it all the time. You got to keep it rehearsed. You got to keep it practiced. You got to keep it whipped. You can't just whip it out when you think it's okay. Because your voice will get smashed by many. It will get, You ever been to one of those little car junk shops, baby? And they take those cars, and you will see it. It'll have the glass, whatever, whatnot. They probably stripped a few pieces off of it. You know, got the best they could off all their coins. But when they put that thing in there and they smash it down to this block, you will still exist, but you will be this block. Your voice cannot echo outside of that. Because you have not trained your voice to be a voice that matters, and that's a voice that counts. You know, and when you're against someone, when you're against a human being, period. Human being, sentient being, intelligent creature, in any shape, form, fashion, from the womb to the tomb, in life and in death. If you have any disregard for a human being, then you have a disregard for yourself, and do not be afraid of what might be lashed to you for your own thoughts. It's like, go right back to you. And you get caught up. It just bounced off me. I might got a little bruise or whatever, whatnot. But it didn't succumb me like it's going to bounce back and succumb you and just eat you alive like an acid. Just erode at you periodically and not with a suddenness. Just, you're going to be there for a moment. So don't be blocked off. Commune. Commune with your environment as the earth communes with the other planets in the sun. The earth don't get out of alignment. You don't see the earth go wobbling around the sun and then take a trip around Jupiter and do all that. The earth don't do that. The earth stays in accordance, in its radiance, in its beauty, in its marvel, in its, reproduction, in its effervescent life going and changing. As you should, like the earth, as you revolve in your life. You should find your constant. You should find that gravitational point to be successful now. When you realize where we are as a country, where we are as a people, you could consider this a moment of opportunity. And either you can be the grain that's in the grass. There's many grains in the grass, just swaying. And you are never going against the grain. But the only reason you're not going against the grain because you're not stronger than the wind that's blowing, and that's the voice that's out there. But as the grains wasp and wasp, they get a voice. They churn a voice. They churn a voice that becomes a force to be reckoned with against the currents of the wind. Friction causes so much change. And with that change, the grain now has a voice without becoming against. It's fluid. It's synergy. It's things that we've seen in the world. It's things we've read, we've interpreted, we've heard, we've, been there, done that. Got the shirt, got the t-shirt, honey, got the footies. All those things that we've been through as a culture and a people. I'm just hoping that in this post here, that it's more relative to you and me, that if I had known 30 years ago what it is that I know now, how I could have changed my country as a person now. But in that awareness, I'm clear to say I must pay it forward and make others aware that are even in my, that's not my senior, that is beyond, younger than I am. Where here I can give an intuitive expression of insight and hindsight to a relative path of consistency, finding that constant as I spoke of in your universe and being with the world. And know that your life, your continuum is going to be there. You need to make a better plan. And not plan as though you're going to be there, but plan as that there is there. There's a continuum, be it physical, carnal, in that world that we live in, or it be energy, light, or spirit or feelings. If you feel what I feel, then life is just not something I touch.